What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 9 of Keeping It Real with TNL. I'm Lori, and here with Coach Ty. And today's going to be a good one. We're going to jump right into it. It's about choosing your hard.
Ooh, I like this one. This is a big one and an important one. And let's just break it down into categories. But before we get into all the categories, we're going to start with the first one, mindset and motivation.
It's good. I love it. Perfect. So, Ty, what do you think people struggle? Why do you think people struggle to make choices and changes when they know that they have to, because the habits that they're living in are creating so many problems for them? What makes it so hard to make a good choice and do the right thing?
So I think that you knocked it out the park with the question with the word habit. And I think that's why I'm actually glad that we're starting now with mindset and motivation first, because people need to understand that for you to see any kind of change on this outside, you need to be ready to make a change here. And I truly feel that most people don't understand that's how first cause works. So, like you said, people have been in their habits for a long period of time. And as me and you know, habits, changing them is literally like unraveling a railroad cable. It is the hardest thing because most of us don't even realize that we've got ourselves locked into this kind of hypnotic rhythm. You know, for example, let's say that you were never somebody who's really struggled with food your whole life. So you're naturally into a place where you're able to eat what you want. And then you know, as you get through your 20s, you're still kind of there, but you're seeing minor weight gain, but you don't make too many changes. And then by the time you get to your 30s, you're not working out. The kids have come, and you're like, "What just happened?" And
It comes up fast.
it comes up quick,
It
and
does.
and then it's one of those things. It isn't that the person doesn't know that yes, I need to work out, but for 30 years, what have the habits been? It's just been living their life. They've been, oh, I'll just have this meal, I'll do that. And it's always hard when now it feels like I'm having to take stuff away from myself. I'm having to deprive. And I feel that too many people see the fitness and the nutrition as more of a deprivation than what it really is, which is something that is literally like a lifesaver.
Yeah.
It's literally like, this is going to change and make everything right now completely better. And it's so funny because you and I both know people will come up to us, complain, Todd, I'm hurt. Todd, how come my stomach won't go back the other way? Why is it just going this way?
Yeah.
Like, oh, all these things. And then the minute that we tell them, oh, we know exactly how to get you to where you want to go. And the first thing out of their mouth is what? What do I have to give up? Do I have to give up carbs? As opposed to a normal person would be like, oh, I just have to do that and then I have health.
Yeah.
It's the same thing,
It's the
but just from a
mindset.
different, it's the
Yeah.
different type of mindset towards that. So I just feel that most people struggle, one, because the habits have become so ingrained that anything outside of that norm is just too much of a culture shock for them.
Yes.
Like, hold on, you want me to actually think about my protein?
Yeah.
And you want me to get protein from something other than a burger patty with bread and lettuce and extra cheese?
Yeah.
And it just seems like we're asking them to basically die on the cross.
Yeah.
When it's like, no, bro, this is literally, these new habits are going to make the life that you've already built basically 10 times better. And if they saw that, then they would probably make the change. But what about you though? What do you think that most like, because me and you both have clients and me and you both have our own styles and we have to keep them up. What do you think most people tend to struggle with?
Definitely if I go into what I'm taking away versus what we're focusing on eating, it's a game changer for them. So like if I say, like, a lot of people don't understand protein. They're still like, no, 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 not that much. That's going to make me sick. That's going to cause problems. Like, okay, if you donated a kidney and you have creatinine level issue, if there's literally a physical health issue, that means you can't have more than X amount of protein, then we honor that. And we have to do that. That's how it is. But for the rest of us, like, we need protein.
Sure.
And animal protein provides like amino acids, different things we can't get from plants. So I like to focus on, here's a list, eat anything and everything that's on these lists right here. And let's focus on that as we change into things, right?
Yep.
And then like bite size, some people jump right in and some people need baby steps. So when I started paleo in 2013 at this gym, I literally left the first meeting, went straight to Safeway, bought everything I needed for the week, and went home and then moved my husband at the time's food like to a different cabinet because he was not on board. So I understand hard because I had a husband that was not supportive, toddler. No, she was, in all fair, she was like 4, but still like a kid that goes, everything for children is like sweet treats. In preschool and Montessori and K through 12, everything is like sugar. So I had to just create my own space in the fridge and cabinet and then literally cook for like 2 families. But I did that because I chose my heart. I was tired of being sick. So I think if somebody has a big why, that helps with the motivation.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I was going to say something. I'm not taking away from you.
No, go ahead.
You just knocked it out the park. I love what you said there. When I made the choice, I went straight to Safeway.
Yeah.
When it was literally, so that is the
Yeah.
thing that most people never do is make a hard line decision.
Yeah.
You literally said, I'm starting paleo. It wasn't like, let me go home and think about it. Because me and you both know, you know yourself better than anyone else. And if there's anyone who knows how to talk you out of anything, it's you.
Oh, yeah.
I could talk myself out of all kinds of things. I could sit and justify it, and it sounds sweet to my ears. Like, oh, Ty, you're so right.
It's such a hard day today. Yep. Therefore, yeah, like we do. That's human nature. Everybody does that.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
I was going to say, but you said no. I'm not going to sit and play the game. I'm going to make a hard line decision because I know that this can help me, and I know that I haven't done it yet, so I might as well see. And you were willing to just be like, F it. And then, not only that, I hear all the time, but my husband and my kids eat this. You just knocked it out the first off. Yes, kids are hard to eat. I'm not going to say it. I'll be honest. I wouldn't give my kids some of the chemicals that are out there, but that's a different topic. I'm not a father, so it's not my place to speak. But in the same hand, you knew that was going to be an obstacle, and you were like, okay, well, let me take his stuff, put it somewhere else. Let me get her stuff there too. I'll put my stuff here. And yeah, if I have to cook for 2, I'd rather cook for 2 than keep being sick.
Yeah.
And you made a hard line decision. Yeah. And once you made the choice, it seems like the habits that you needed followed.
They did.
Once you said, hey, I'm starting paleo, what'd you do? Safeway, organize the kitchen, change the pantry around, cook for 2. You came with a game plan and you just ran with it because you made a hard line decision.
Yeah, I think I understand where people are like, but I just need a baby step because I'm scared, nervous. I get it. And I'm not telling you how to do it. But if you're at a place like for the people that come in for a no sweat intro, right? You found us for a reason. And it doesn't matter what your goal is, we'll get you there.
Absolutely.
So come in and talk with us and just jump right in because nobody comes in to this gym for, it could be rehab, it could be prehab before surgery, it could be fitness, it could be weight loss, it could be weight gain, or just straight nutrition training. And you're going to get the best that you're going to get around here.
I love it.
And it was like that when I started too, before I was part of that. That's what made me want to be a part of this, right? So a lot of times, and let me also say that my ex-husband and I, when we came back to California, it was after losing everything in 2008. So I wasn't wealthy anymore and I didn't have money to just burn. And the cost of cooking my own food and being healthy, like you make it work because there's things you can cut out. And that's the thing. It's like, okay, well, I'm not going to go to Starbucks or take my daughter to Super Frank's. We'll just go to the park because it's free and save $20 today. That can be used to feed my daughter and myself healthy food that makes us better all around. Because the changes are not just on how you look, because all of us care about how we look, but the changes spill into every aspect of your life. And that's just exciting. Like that, like I feel this feeling again. Like I remember the feeling from 2013, right? I started as like, right. Oh my gosh, it was Sarah Kate did a paleo thing.
In 2013 that you started, because that was the same time that I had started.
It was actually May. It was right around my birthday, to be honest with you. And then I did my first Tough Mudder that fall. And then I was down like 90 pounds within 6 months of that. So, yeah.
I don't know. Me and you were from the same faucet. Because so cool. I was thinking about it just today. And it was my official day was May 3rd, 2013, when I woke up and I was like, I'm done. That was the exact day.
So mine was a few days later. It was closer. My birthday is May 14th. You can all send presents. That's what
yes.
Just kidding. Because we just pretend it's my 31st every year. That's the greatest gift. It was so probably around May 6th. It was that close because it was a week before Tim and I started officially dating because I was separated. I was, that was the thing. Like, it's a long story, but nonetheless, it was that moment where you're like, okay, this is what's happening. And it was right around my birthday. But
And
yeah.
you lost 90 pounds doing the thing.
Yeah, in 7 months, 6.5.
In 7 months.
And I didn't have acid reflux. I didn't have, I was on Prilosec. I was on B12 shots in an effort to help me lose weight. It didn't work because it's not always calories in, calories out, right? Depending on your health and everything. Was off ibuprofen, no more back pain. I would take like up to 22 pills a day of Costco ibuprofen because even after a back surgery, I was still in so much pain. But it was just inflammation from food. So yeah. But I mean, yeah, it was probably around May. The first week of May I started. Yeah.
90 pounds down and huge, huge change.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So
Yeah.
I was gonna say, kind of to also go on with Lori said, kind of back in the conversation. Yes, there are two mindsets. There is those who just make the hard line choice, and there's those who kind of ease in. And the best way that I could tell you guys is this. That is literally no different than the type of person on a summer day who hops right in the pool and the other person who likes to put their feet and then their shin and kind of ease it in. But hey, guys, what's the point here? At the whole point of that is what? We're trying to get you into the water.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you're just one who's diving all in or starting to creep in. At some point, you have to come to terms. You're going to have to change the habits to get into the water of your fitness career or your fitness journey. Sorry.
Yeah.
So it's just something to think about, guys. It's like these newer habits of learning to eat right, learning to do these things, they're going to carry you the next 30, 40, 50 plus years until you're done. You might as well just learn to do it now.
Yeah. Yeah. And we've sort of answered the next thing is like you're the king of long-term discipline mindset, right? And most of us are in that short-term comfort mindset. So if there's any little tidbits you want to give people on what made you make that shift, because you and I both struggled through obesity to fitness to, it's not like we're sitting here talking about something we don't struggle with. We do a lot of hard things in life, from career to health to weight. So what do you remember that moment where you were just like, it's not about this delicious food in front of me that's like a pizza and burgers that makes me feel comfortable now, but it's in the long term, this is life and this is how I have to be.
So without getting too much into the whole job aspect, I will start with this. I was never motivated to lose weight just to lose weight.
Yeah.
You'll be honest. That didn't do it for me. And you had touched on having a big enough why. And I'm telling you guys right now, if you're someone who says, I need to lose 10 pounds every freaking 4 weeks, you're going to keep saying that for the rest of your life. You need to attach it to a larger reason. So I'll be honest with you. When I started, I didn't care about losing weight. I cared about wanting to lose weight so I could be a police officer.
Well,
So that was the motivation. That was my big
it's a
why.
big why.
And I don't care if you guys, the stuff I'm going to say right now, whether you like me or not, you're going to change your whole opinion and probably not like me anymore. But I don't care. I'm going to keep it real. The thing that motivated me to lose weight was the fact that I was going to have a career that gave me over 6 figures, the fact that I was going to never have to worry about my medical benefits or my retirement, the fact I was going to be able to buy a home and have nice trucks, have girls who actually want to freaking be with me, all those things that motivated me.
Yeah.
And that kept me going until I lost all that weight.
Yeah.
And it had nothing to do with the weight loss. I wanted that career, that lifestyle, and everything it came with. That's what got me out of bed. And that's the reason I was waking up. Now, once I got it, that's when it hit me. I can't go back to being 400 pounds high. I don't. And that's when I began to see, unless I begin to become this new person, this can't be a fraud. And I think that that's where it kind of came to a head with me, because I knew that now, okay, I have an extra motivating reason, as because I am in this field, I have to stay fit. I have to look good. I have to be able to move. I have to feel comfortable in my uniform, doing what I'm doing. And I have to be someone who my partners can count on. There's nothing worse than a fat cop. I hope if someone's watching this, there is nothing worse than a fat cop. You are a disgrace to everything that badge means. That said, like I said, sorry about that. Hey, no. But no, it's
just from a basic safety perspective, as a civilian in law enforcement, I was like, man, who's going to get killed? And our friend that got shot in the face and killed was overweight and couldn't move quick enough. I mean, you're putting yourself and your team's life at risk when you don't have the fitness.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's not like you're fat shaming. You're just like, guys, your job is to be fit and strong and save people and each other.
Yeah.
So I can't disagree with what you're saying.
On you.
As civilian, I understand what you're saying because it's a basic requirement.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And and that's why that had kept me going for all those other years after I had reached my goal, because I now knew other people were counting on me, not only my partners, but the public.
Yeah.
The worst thing that you would want to see is someone show up in your worst time of need, someone just assaulted you, and some fat guy's there. I'll go catch him. They're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
It's like it was just that. So that's what kept me, and that's when I learned I had to become a healthy person. I had to become this individual. I couldn't just get it and then go back to being who I was.
Yeah.
Because imagine me at 400 pounds trying to, no, I'd have probably lost the damn job.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's what caused the long-term discipline. But once I just kind of gave in, and obviously once I realized that fitness is a lifetime journey, that I don't get to ever just say, oh, now I'm 60, so let myself sit and die all day at home.
Yeah.
That's not going to be the case either.
Yeah.
So it's like, it was just one of those things that it had came to a head. But I'll be honest, what started it was because my career forced me to have to make it a priority.
Yeah.
And that's when it finally hit. I have to just live like this. And I don't regret it at all, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even miss the other life or that other body that I've shed.
Yeah.
Do you miss the other body?
No.
Do you miss anything that life was?
No. And what's funny is, like, I've had a few whys because I've gotten there and then lost it from health reasons and then got it back and then just filled shit during COVID, just trying to keep this place open. And like we had talked about, like, my first why was to live for my daughter because, at that point we were separated but still under the same roof because you can't afford anything, and trying to figure out all the schematics of that was a nightmare. And then I did it for her, right? And then everything was great, and I got sick with parasites, and Kaiser spent 7 months, 9 months not knowing what happened. My gut was destroyed, my intestines destroyed, and it kicked me into Hashimoto's. So I had an autoimmune disease and just gained weight. It was hard. The treatment was nauseating. It was so sickening. Like, you just laid on the couch throwing up sick. It was rough. And then my wife was like, no, because I understand health and fitness, and this is God's way of giving me something hard to get through so that I can help others. That was the mindset.
I love that.
Yeah.
And then I also love the fact that you said that your first why was your daughter. And I don't want to sound cliche, but everyone always said, I would kill
for my kids, but would you live for them? Yeah.
Would you take your fitness back for them? And you're the one who stood on business with that.
Yeah.
That's real.
Yeah. And her whole life, whatever she's wanted to, whether she was doing Olympic lifting here or when she got in the chair, or now just between, seasons of sports, she wants a little treadmill thing for the living room. I get it for her. She wants to go to the gym at the apartment complex. I'll take her. She wants to come here and work out. Let's go. Like, I always support her in any and all things activity and fitness, because everybody has to love themselves enough to do the hard things to have a good life. Right. And then it doesn't feel so hard.
Cool.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, I know that now we're going to dive in a little bit of nutrition and lifestyle. Yes. And I know that we somewhat talked on food, but now we're going to get a little bit more specific. So, Lori, me and you both know that eating unhealthy is hard. Eating healthy is hard. How do you help your clients and members that you work with personally on choosing the right carbs? What are some of your secrets?
Well, we know firsthand change is hard. And we also know that in this country, everything is unhealthy that is easily accessible. And up until the last few years, inflation was cheaper, right? Now it levels out. Now fast food and eggs are both expensive, right? It's a different world until we get things under control.
It's almost a good thing, though, just in the sense that now it takes away that excuse of it's cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I try to do is, if it's like a client that I've had for a while, I know who they are, their habits, their personality, what makes them tick. Some people are very social and they don't know how to go out to where there's alcohol and food and how to manage that. So we meet halfway. Like, what's a good compromise we can do in the beginning while you're getting your body used to the changes, right? Because change can be scary, right? And changes can be hard, but it's nothing you can't do. So how do we get you into the mindset of, oh, I can't believe I have to do this, to like, LFG, let's go. And that's what we work on, right? That's what we work on. Whether I'm working with someone who's getting healthier before a surgery or before a long trip, or like their kid's wedding. Some people just want to look and feel amazing at a wedding or a family member's thing or whatever. Like, let's meet halfway and talk about what sounds reasonable. And then the first thing I have them track above all else is their protein, just to make sure they're getting enough to sustain the kind of working out that they're doing in CrossFit, right? We got to keep feeding the lean muscle. And then I help a lot of people get past the barrier that too much protein is bad, because we live in the fake science articles we've talked about that carbs are good, proteins and fat are bad, and what causes diabetes and what doesn't. So I will never talk to someone about something that is not factual based. I never come at them with opinions or some shit I saw on Facebook that someone's mom reposted. People do that. People get really like wrapped up, and you can see on both sides of the argument that people like, they get the clickbait going, and then all of a sudden they're like, dude, Arnold Schwarzenegger is a vegetarian now, let's go. And they throw out all their meat, and you're like, why? Okay, what is your goal? And are you the vegan or vegetarian that eats Skittles because you're vegan and vegetarian? Or we talk about whole foods, we talk about real stuff, and we make it exciting. And I'm not kidding. Someone's like, I'm gonna miss Chick-fil-A. So I'll give them a gluten-free, organic, good oil version that they can make at home. I'll even teach them how to make their own mayonnaise. So it's made with avocado oil, not soybean oil. Because we know that seed oils and bad oils affect the heart, and that's what the cholesterol comes in to repair the damage from those. This has all been around for a while. So we talk about those things, and they'll come back usually the next week and ask, like, okay, I thought about that. What about this? And I answer their question, or I give them an actual vetted publication of, that's the thing. Everybody can go in the PubMed and find what they want to find, but can you find what is actually duplicatable, replicatable, actual science, and has actually been really proven in a real study? So there's a lot of like cute pictures and no study behind words. So I'm blessed with the medical society and Broken Science, because they have spent years with thousands of people across the country and outside of our country finding good articles showing the ones that are false and why and what it means, and and so that I never worry that I'm giving someone fake news or fake information, right? Exactly. And that helps them with nutrition, because when they understand it, then they're like, okay, well, I know I'm really craving this, but I also want to live and have grandkids someday or great grandkids someday. And then the mind like shifts to a different way of looking at it. Because how I look at it is this: growing old is a privilege, right? I've had cousins that dropped dead before they were 40, friends, family. Not everybody gets to grow old. So you see me on here, there's no hair and makeup. There's lines that I call battle scars, because all the smiling and laughing have given me these lines. I'm not putting anything in my body, and that is my personal choice to do that. I don't judge anyone that does what they do, but I feel like it is a privilege for me to be alive right now. It's had such an unhealthy life getting to healthy. So it's the same thing with working out or eating right. I don't say, can't believe I gotta work out again today. Like, I'm like, look at my planner, 8:30 a.m. I get to work out. I get to work out. Look at my nutrition plan. I get to eat this delicious protein that I food prepped. I get to make a choice when I go out with friends to order the steak, no butter, no bread, no potatoes, steamed veggies, have a delicious meal, and if I must drink, have a delicious glass of red wine from Italy, and not get all the junk that's in sprayed on our grapes here, right? Like, I feel privileged to have that. I feel excited about that. And that's the kind of energy I try to pass on to people that struggle with the, I work hard, I deserve Boston cream pie. Like, you know, I used to eat cheesecake. It's facts. I mean, I get it. Like, I'd watch the Golden Girls with my best friend guy, and we'd straight eat cheesecake when they ate cheesecake. Is a thing. Like, that's what we did when I was in my 20s, you know. I love that too. You just made me smile, because I remember
every Thanksgiving, that would be one of the staples back in the day when Marie Callender's used to be pies, and we'd always get a Boston cream pie, a lemon meringue, and like the whole entire. I was just laughing about.
Thanksgiving buffet of pies. Yeah,
I remember that.
facts.
Now, a couple things that you actually touched on, and we're just going to kind of get it back there, is the misconceptions about healthy eating. Now, you had touched on it, so we don't have to get too crazy, but I like what you said, is that first you let them vent their point of what they've heard from their mom's friend who's overweight, but she knows, and I trust this person.
Yeah.
Her results are shit, but her mouth's moving.
Yeah.
So it's good info.
I got it. It's what I wanted to hear.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so now you have to deal with that person not only not knowing, but now knowing something wrong and willing to fight you on what you know.
Yeah.
How do you overcome that? Like, obviously you had said that you start with giving them real info and then helping them understand, but tell us more about that process of overcoming some of the misconceptions.
It's hard because, and it was inevitable that even health would become politicized, right? Because everything is so divided and it's so depressing. And aside from that, it's like people will die on the Hill for a D or an R after their name on their voting card for over bullshit. Like, that doesn't even make sense. And you're like, okay, so for me, it's transparency. And I'm going to take the tagline for Broken Science. Let's start with the truth. Like, all we're going to talk about is the truth, and you can agree with it or not, but it is what it is. So if I look at the label for, what is it, Best Foods mayonnaise that everybody loves, like OG mayo, and I say, look, there's hydrogenated soybean oil and 5 things I can't even pronounce. And I'm not dumb. I just don't even know how to say it. I don't know what this is right now. Like, tell me what real, whole, natural ingredients are in here. And there's none. So we can say that this is probably not the mayonnaise we want to use.
This is a science experiment.
It is, right? And then I'll say, seed oils are a problem. They have been for a while. But then some people are on the train of not liking RFK because they think he's taking away everything from them, which he's not. I know his advisor, like, we're not taking away your shots, your food, your McDonald's, your 75 booster. No one's taking anything. The transparency is what's in what you're eating and putting in your body, so that you and people we don't like and people that don't like us are all privileged to the same information of what we're putting in our body.
Absolutely.
Because it's our choice, right? Like, my body, my choice is all encompassing. It's not just about an abortion. It's your body. And I'm not telling you what to put in it or take out of it, right? But I'm going to show you what's in the stuff you're putting in it. And then it's your choice to decide if you still want to eat that.
Exactly. I love that.
And that's the thing. Like, I have watched so many people get sick and die, like, the last 4 years. There's nothing more frustrating and depressing and just, like, I cry for people that I don't even know. Like, you're like, oh my God, another kid dropped dead on the football field and in Alabama. And you're just like, children. Or, someone in their 40s just had a stroke and died while driving. And you're like, what is going on here? Like,
a couple of years ago, there was a USC basketball athlete that dropped dead, had a heart attack on the court, and in the top shape of his life.
Yeah.
And obviously, nobody wanted to say what it was, but we all knew.
We knew. And then,
you got to take those just to travel.
He did. And there was the female cop in Alameda County. I don't know if she was police or county employee. I'll have to ask our friend Rebecca. Remember Gansey that was worked out here? She's in Arizona now, and the woman died in her car, just like struck dead. And you're like, she was healthy, fit, young woman. And so I just think that everybody needs to know what's in the food they're eating, and then they can decide if they want to roll with that. And people are gonna say, no, I have been eating Ben and Jerry's. I don't know, Cherry Garcia. I don't eat their ice cream because I don't eat ice cream and dairy, but everybody knows that flavor because it's special to me and I love it. I'm not gonna judge you. No. Yeah, but if like for me, why do I not live on ibuprofen? Well, for one, the blessing is I don't need it because I'm not inflamed from all the crap things and chemicals I used to put on my body. But for two, like, I know what that does for pathways and pain pathways in there and the long-term damage to the liver. But that being said, if I am wrecked and I need ibuprofen before my back starts going out for my muscles being that tight, I'll take it. once a month, 3 months, like, and I never feel like a loser because I did, because I know at that point, if you don't do something to stop it before that pain gets out of control, and maybe that's how you feel about your ice cream. If you can't have one spoonful, you're going to spiral and eat 4 gallons. Like, but at least if we all know what's in our stuff, then the decisions start making themselves as we think about it more. So let me just be here to be that person who has no kickback skin in the game. I don't work for pharma. I don't work for RFK. I don't work for Kellogg's. I don't work for national, medicinal properties of California. Any of these made up things. Like, I just am one person who saved my own life, has helped a lot of people and saved some lives. And I'm really tired of watching young people drop dead or die or get sick and cancer. And I would love to look back at the end of my life and say, help some people make good choices. And even if it was just one good choice out of 5, you still made one good choice. Own that. Love that.
Win.
Yeah, it's a huge win.
Everyone's count. Every good choice is literally a brick laid into a wall of success. And you literally have that choice when you wake up of what bricks that you're going to lay for your life.
I love that. I love the brick. That's fantastic. Yes. Let's see. The healthy food tastes bad. We'll end on the nutrition part with this, because some people are like, I don't want to eat healthy because it tastes like shit. They'll say that. That tastes like shit. I don't want to eat that. And I'm like, no offense to my mom. She won't watch this anyways, because she's like, she like 10 seconds of energy. She's like 72 and she's not like, no, she doesn't want to watch anything. It tastes bad. Wait, what you want me to eat? Bones, skinless chicken breasts with some seasoning and mushroom and onion and broccolini and maybe some red lentil pasta? That sounds horrible. Like,
I love how, because as you're saying, all that sounds amazing to me. I get where you're coming at.
It's like my lunch right home.
So I would say that it is tough when people have the misconception that healthy food tastes bad. And that when I hear that, I prefer the taste of chemicals other than what's healthy. And that's what's being said here.
Yeah.
And so this is now when I have to understand that not everyone is the same. And I do take the swimming pool approach. And so what I usually do is this. I'd be like, hey, what if the chicken still had skin on it? Would you eat it?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, yeah, I probably would. And I was like, okay, well then what if we did some broccoli and we did some like butter, some garlic, maybe add a little bit of flavor so that it isn't as bad. And then they're like, okay, I could probably do that. And I'm like, what if I told you it could be a dark meat chicken thigh so it's juicy, it doesn't taste like a chicken breast bicycle seat?
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, I could do that. And then I'm like, well, maybe we could try that for one of our meals.
Yeah.
And then we'll just say that at least for our lunch, we'll do 2 chicken thighs and some broccoli. And at least we'll lay that out for just about 7 days. And if you want to substitute the chicken thighs with some other type of meat, some other protein, then at least let's start to incorporate this real food. Because me and you both know, if you're not eating a muffin, some fruit roll up, and some Oreos, and you're going to have some chicken with some skin on it and some broccoli, that's already a huge win.
Gigantic.
That's already big enough. I don't need, and that's the thing that I want people to understand about me and Lori. If this was a video game, we started our journey in easy mode. This is what expert level looks like of playing a video game for this long. There was a time when I started out and all it was counting calories. I then went from calories to protein, carbs, and sugar. I then went from protein, carbs, and sugar to I don't want the chemicals. And it wasn't some big, huge thing overnight. Like I just said, I'm waking up eating real food. Yeah. No, you guys are watching what it looks like when you've gone through the stages of a real fitness journey and you didn't get off once you hit your goal weight and you realize that it's a life thing. And so I usually try to start with just one meal. And the other thing I always ask someone is, what real food do you like? And then they're like, so when you go to Ruth Chris, what would you get? If you're at a restaurant, like what real food do you eat? And then they're like, well, I don't mind this type of vegetable, or I don't mind a nice cut of filet mignon or ribeye or something like that. And I'm like, okay, so you do eat real food. That counts as real food. And sometimes I just think it's us like letting them know that's real food. because they think, like you said, dark, chicken breast, white meat, zero seasoning, and broccoli, no bushes, just the stems. They just make it as worse as they can.
Chewing on sticks over here to get.
And then when I'm like, how about a nice 8-ounce filet mignon and maybe some baby potatoes? It's a fucking win, bro.
Yeah.
Like if you're eating that over McDonald's #1 or double fries and a soda, we've made a change, and we've included real food. And then I've shown them these are foods that you already would normally eat when you're out, but you think that it's special when it's like, no, that's what you should be eating, the real food. And it's usually just, like you said, the education process.
Yeah.
And that's usually what kind of convinces them. But I always ease in by asking them, what real food do you like right now? Like with me, I remember when I started mine, I said, if there was something that I could eat every day, it's barbecue. And so, yeah, it was a sacrifice, but that's how I started. I started by having a barbecue chicken leg quarters because I knew that I would look forward to eating those. Then white meat chicken breast with nothing on it.
Yeah.
Hashtag bicycle seat meat. That's what I call it.
Yeah.
It's like a bicycle seat. But so that's what I've done, and it's helped. And like I said, I don't want everyone to just like, yes, me and the Lord are always going to tell you guys real food, but that's us getting you guys into the pool.
Yeah.
But once you're in the pool, like then we could start to ease you into this and show you most of what you're eating right now. The real food is stuff that you've always liked. You just didn't know that it's healthy diet food, quote unquote, because it's really not diet food. It's just normal. It's almost weird that chemicals is normal.
Yeah.
That's the downfall. People think that chemicals is normal. So you see someone who eats steak, eggs, and broccoli, and you're like, this guy's weird. No, I eat real food. I don't like to eat dog food.
Yeah. Yeah, the packaged stuff is rough because there's so much in there that, like, if I took the time to look up what each item was on a package, try to say it right and see what it does in the body, I'd be like, oh. And it builds too. You know, people are like, well, I've been eating this way forever and I'm not sick yet. And then the bucket, every drip keeps filling, and then the bucket's full. And that next serving of hamburger helper, then did you in.
Boom.
Happened with my best friend too. All of a sudden he can't do wheat and dairy, and he's had his whole life. But late 40s, early 50s, he was like, I can't do wheat and dairy. And I'm like, yeah, your body's done.
Speaking of that, I'm glad you actually brought up the wheat and dairy, because that brings us up to our Monday fix. And we were talking about knowing the difference between celiac as well as wheat allergies and glyphosate poisoning, because they're similar.
Yeah.
And some people might not know. Did you want to add in a little bit, just so we could get some sort of,
like, on my genetic testing, I'm highly likely to be a celiac. When my daughter was 2.5, she had bowel withholding syndrome. She wouldn't have a bowel movement for like 7 to 12 days. And they want to do all this colonoscopy on a child. And I'm like, there has to be an easier way. So somebody told me about gluten, and that was the first time I heard about it. So Ashley was why we went gluten-free. She and I did. Her dad never bought into it. And it changed her whole health, right? And then we found out later, dairy bugged her too. We thought she was sick all the time. And I was like, I think she has leukemia. I'm like flipping out. And the doctor like does blood work and allergy testing. He's like, she's 4 out of 4 for dogs, 2 out of 4 for cats, and like wheat and dairy and all the things. We had 2 dogs and 2 cats for her whole life. And back then they just want to put her on Zyrtec at 2, and no one thought about any allergies until she was in 1st or 2nd grade. And I was like flipping out with Kaiser, like, something is wrong that my kid is sick all the time. I understand kids pass germs, but when she was completely wheat free and completely dairy free, she was completely happy and healthy kid. Yeah. And so then I learned about Roundup weed killer. Okay. And here's where it gets crazy. So I used to spray it all the time in Antioch on our driveway because the dandelions would pop up. We had a big palm tree in the front yard, and these little weeds would pop up. And my mom and dad would ask us to go like pull weeds and pump and spray. So fun. Like, you're like 7 doing that. And like the main ingredient of that is glyphosate, which is an FDA approved herbicide for the United States, right? It's FDA approved. So they're like, hey, this stuff is good. Not only does it kill the dandelions, but all these other weeds that affect the crops like wheat, rye, and barley. And where people start to get confused is a celiac cannot eat wheat, rye, or barley because they're allergic to the gluten, which is the protein in wheat, rye, and barley, right? And then now they're eating things that are gluten free, but all the crops are near these airplanes that just drop glyphosate on the farms that are next to organic, that are next to hydroponic. It doesn't matter. It's in the soil, it's in the water. And so a lot of things test positive for glyphosate. When Brandy and I and her sister went to a celiac convention a year before COVID, or maybe a year and a half before COVID, down in the South Bay, they were talking about how certain products like oats say glyphosate tested. So now there's companies that have been glyphosate testing for quite some time
Really?
because it's showing up in wine and dairy because the cows are eating. So, and the kicker of all of this, and this is where you have to look at the connections of things to see how money drives our food here, and it always has, right? Is that dandelions have like endless health properties, right? You can make a tea from it to help liver problems, cleanses that in the kidneys. You can eat them, the little flowers. You can actually, people would fry them in the South and do stuff. They're edible too. So in times when things are rough, people could eat them and do that. They help with, there's a whole slew of health properties that come from dandelions. So you've created something that kills this weed that actually is OG health, right? And then you approve that poison that's a neurotoxin to be sprayed on my food that affects the liver and kidneys and everything in my body that the dandelions can help with. And Bayer, the pharmaceutical, owns Monsanto that has the FDA approved glyphosate. So these are the connections that only have money ties. There's no politics in this. It's a circle of life of the dollar and the economy, right? And that's the stuff. So when we all went to Europe this past summer, the three of us, Tim, Ashley, and I ate wheat and dairy every day. Nobody got sick because they don't have that there. So then I'm like, oh, I'm not celiac. Just can't eat shit they spray on my food here. So I import flour off Amazon, Caputo brand flour and yeast. And twice now I've made pizza for friends. Everyone's like, this is so delicious. And I didn't get bloated and I don't feel like gassy and sick. Like, because the same gastrointestinal issues happen to most people that eat it, right? Because they're drowning in glyphosate, a neurotoxin, every time they eat wheat. So that's why we had that talk, just so people can understand it's not, we're not saying 1 in 3 people are celiac. It's not that serious how many people have that. But it is how crazy people get sick from glyphosate because it's on everything. Am I beer drinkers? No, you're just drinking it so fast right now. Yeah, I mean, so that's why we had to talk. The Monday Fix talks are just about health and tidbits of information so people can be more educated on basic things that they wouldn't otherwise know, right? Another privilege to know that. We share that. We just do that out of the goodness of our hearts so people have understanding. Maybe someone then will be like, oh my God, my 8-year-old has all these health problems. Let's take out any wheat products for any gluten products for like 3 months and see how it goes because it takes like 90 days to get it all out of the system. And their kid's brand new.
And see, and like you said, and that is information that they may not know about. That's why I completely love these Monday fixes that you brought to the gym because it has been a game changer. It sparks the conversation. All of it.
I love the feedback. People are really into the information and make changes from it too. It makes my heart happy. So I just want everybody to not be sick and feel good. Let's have a change of, instead of that 1 year where it was like the 13th funeral and we're halfway through the year and I'm like, I can't go to any anymore. Like I had to stop because it was so much death in like 2023 or 2. I don't even know. I was just like in my planner, you can go back and be like, are all your friends 100? And I'm like, no, they're not, like, but I just want to see the tides turn and I want us to be back on a good, healthy trajectory for everybody. Everybody deserves that. All right. So last category is exercise, right?
Yep. Okay. Exercise. So
choose your hard.
Third category here, we have the exercise. So some say that working out is hard, but so is dealing with chronic illness.
Mhm.
So how do you help people reframe exercise as a necessity and not an option?
Okay. So I'll just start at the start. As a CrossFit owner, right? Still quoting Glassman, he created it, and now he's the guy that created MetFix that I'm a part of. CrossFit isn't for everybody, it's for anybody. Anybody that wants to work hard, feel good, reap benefits, cure chronic illness and disease, live their best life, be happy, have a community. Everything gets better from exercise, right? It's and you'll see ads too, and they're not wrong. Like, but sex sells, so they'll have some dude looking buff, like, I mean, not to
I hate those dudes.
no, yeah,
He's got arms.
that guy, yeah, beautiful arms.
I don't like.
But he's all like, it's like, man, your sex life booms when you exercise. But it does because you energy and you feel good. So I'm not lying, but I didn't need to see him. You know, I'm not looking for the ads like that. I didn't need that, but it got people's attention and it wasn't a lie, right? Oh, exercise helps you sleep better. It gets you through perimenopause, all 4 stages of menopause better. It does. Makes for a healthier pregnancy, easier giving birth, better time raising your kids. If you're a teacher, more energy for your students that are off the chain, just stirring up every day. You know what I mean? So it you know, and obviously people watching this don't do CrossFit or have never heard of our gym, but do something, like do something regularly. Because again, it's a privilege. Not everybody can get up and walk. They're paralyzed or they're missing a limb from, war heroes. It's different for everybody. So if you look at it as counting your blessings of what you can do, go do that and think of it as a blessing, not a necessity. Like, oh damn, like you got to brush your teeth. Though. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Get up, brush your teeth.
Brush your teeth. Yeah.
Take a shower, put on deodorant, and go work out. But what a blessing that you get to do that. That's just my mindset.
No, so that is my favorite mindset, and so I didn't really talk about this on the motivational aspect of it, but that is something that I do sometimes use for my own motivation. And it may be selfish to think that way at times, but I thank God every day that I'm not in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
I thank God every day that all my legs work and then I am able to use them because I've been in a field where I know individuals who have been in accidents, guys who I was rolling with, and now they can't walk. You damn right. I know if that man could get up and run, he would give everything he could to.
Everything.
And so that's how come me, like, how selfish are you? Like, there's kids that we have in our youth class. There's the one kid who has the arm issue.
Yeah.
That kid's in there busting his butt. It's awkward for him. He could barely grip the ball. I got grown up. His fingers are hurting.
Yeah.
This kid doesn't even have a forearm.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's the difference. He sees this as I'm a part of something. Yeah. I'm doing something.
Yeah, he's our athlete at the gym, man. CrossFit, and that's the thing. Like, adaptive athletes have a place in CrossFit.
Yeah, and like I see more military vets, dudes with prosthetic limbs killing it.
Yeah,
and I got people who think that working 8 hours a day is an excuse to not fucking keep your fitness together.
Yeah,
my mind. I just can't fathom that. Like, what?
That's hard.
How do you get it?
It's hard for you to fathom that.
Yes.
What was that quote? Oh, I forgot it. Like, there's no way we can understand what someone's thinking because then we'd have to think like them, and that's not how we think.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love that quote.
Like, I remember when I wanted to be a profiler for the FBI. I'm waiting to get out of the FBI. I got through the first 2 stages, and I'm like, I'm gonna catch all these. No more raping kids. No more killing women and men. I'm gonna find them all, hunt them down. I'm gonna figure them out, right? And then it hit me one day. I'm like, you can't get in their head. Like, you can, MO and different things and like expect what's coming through their past actions, or their mom was overbearing. Like, we try to psychology all of it. You'll never know what made Ted Bundy do what he did unless you're crazy like Ted Bundy. So now, having not gone on with the FBI, I was like, yeah, thank God, because I'd have to be like next level crazy to try to figure this shit out. It's like profiling is great, but like to really know, even from interviewing them, because you're assuming the psychotic person is being honest.
Yeah.
Hey,
so that
guy that just like raped your mom, grandma, killed 27 people. Tell me honestly what's going on right now. He's like, sure, let's go.
And so I completely love that because Lori brings up a good point. I could attest to this on a personal level. I've had coffee with murderers, and I've probably interviewed more killers than most people watching this. And every single one of them is different. Some say it was just in that moment, I felt that urge and I gave in. And there's others who I've met who started killing once and they just couldn't stop because it felt so good inside. So like I said, everyone, you're absolutely right. Us trying to understand somebody else's thinking is the worst things that you could ever do, because naturally we don't think like most people.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can, we talk about this too, scheduling your workouts. No one's saying that working 8 hours a day isn't hard. But if you think about your life, what's really just easy? Like everything's work.
Yeah.
This is part of life. And when we feel the most accomplished is when we work their ass off for something, right? So, I mean, like we were talking about this earlier. I was just like, I was talking to Shelly and I was like, wow, my life has been a series of like hard shit. And I could have just folded down and played the victim because the victim mentality run deep. And in this country, like everybody's a victim for something. And instead of like, be the cream that rises to the top. Like learn from your shit, put on your badge because you work hard. You and I, we talked some workouts in here. Feel like we got waterboarded, right? We're prisoners of war right now because we made it. And even just after the workout, you're like, man, there should be a song about this right now. Where's Kendrick Lamar coming out of the sun for me? Like a good one, not like a Drake one, a good one. And these are the things, like hard work pays off in all aspects of life. So do a job that you love so it feels less like work, and you find a passionate thing in the fitness realm that makes you want to go. Did you know there's professional pickleball players?
I did not know that.
If you love it, go pickleball. You could be
pickleball.
They're like competition.
Pro level.
See, these are things we didn't know, but
we have to get out of here right now.
We should actually have a pickleball day out. And the thing that we'll do differently is we'll warm up our athletes, because if I hear about one more torn ACL in pickleball, I'm going to like literally just chew on my head. Because I hear what happened to your knee? What? What do you do? You just get up out of bed and just like start pivoting?
Just go.
I just go.
You don't know the pickleball life.
So like.
No, Lori.
I don't know. I don't even know what it looks. I don't know. My daughter played in high school. She said it was fun, but her PE teacher warmed them up for 20 minutes, so nobody got hurt. No matter what you do, so a tip. Not even charging. Warm up. So yeah, I mean that's the thing. Just like find a way to enjoy it, or make it fun, or make it exciting, and just do it. Like life is so short. You spend more time bitching about what you don't want to do than just going out and doing something worth doing. I used to do that too. Oh my God, my day. Oh my God, so much fucking shit to do. And I'd spend 30 minutes bitching about my day that I could have gotten the whole list done in 30 minutes. I'm keeping it real. Like, there's no judgment. I get it. Like, some days we wake up and we're like, I literally just turned off my do not disturb, and there's 27 emails and 13 texts, and it's not even 7 a.m. Have a cup of coffee. Let's go. Instead of bitching about, just do it. Make it fun. Make it exciting. Literally, we'll go have pickleball day, and we'll see where people go pro. I don't care what sport you do. Just do something, because your future depends on it. Getting up off the toilet by yourself without help depends on the strength training and the muscle in your legs, right? Like, that's why it's important. It's hard. Dude, come to barbell tomorrow. It's going to be hard, but you're going to get so much out of it, and you're going to feel like you should be a pinup for a barbell class, and you could be. Let's go.
Do it. And
do hard things. Do hard things.
And that's the thing right there that I love that you kind of mentioned a little bit previously, but it is the fact that nobody ever felt good for all the easy stuff they got done.
No.
The only things that always stick out are the things that you have to overcome, and the feeling of accomplishment that you got once it was done. Like, yeah. I always joke, one of the workouts, Kelso, it's 100 thrusters at 135, but every 2 minutes it's like 5 burpees over the bar. And I remember doing that.
No.
I still bring up like, bro, like I was proud of that. Like that was a moment. Like I was like, holy cow. And it was one of those things that I didn't think that I could do. Yeah, it's hard as hell. But guess what? Just like you said, that's what stays in my mind that I overcame. That's what makes me feel good. That's what gives me the feeling of accomplishment.
Yeah.
Never the, bro, you killed it. You went to the Pizza Hut. You got a stuffed crust. And then you sat on the couch and watched 4 episodes of Full House and Family Matters. And you have 3 shots of vodka. Knocked it out the park.
Now, if you had said Cobra Kai, I'd be like, winning. No. That's a great show, but that's still not winning. But yeah, it's literally, you're right. Like the things that you look back on that fill you with pride are hard things that you overcame or accomplished. And honest to God, sometimes a Tuesday CrossFit workout might be that thing in your day. But that's a great feeling.
And I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of people out there who haven't had to overcome anything in a long time.
Yeah.
Like minus someone who may have just graduated, like obviously graduating college and maybe like getting your first job. Most of us, that's our last time that we had to rise up and accomplish something.
Oh yeah.
And now they're just, okay, I got my house, I'm raising my kids, I'm doing my thing, and
Place it just
yeah. And it's like, are you gonna just tiptoe safely to death from 30 to 80?
Yeah.
Or are you going to still live this life that you have here?
Yeah.
And are you still going to push yourself so you can grow? Are you still going to see if you can still make yourself feel accomplished? Or are you going to sit and dread every day?
Yeah.
It's about how hard it is, complain to your wife about blah, 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 and not make any changes at all. So it's, you got to choose your heart.
You got to choose your heart. Here's the thing. Everybody watching this, you can do hard things. But be honest. When someone says, hey, why don't we try eating this? Be honest. Say, I don't want to. Don't say it's too hard. Say, I don't want to. Say that out loud. I'm choosing to not do it. Fine. But don't use the excuse of hard because you do hard things all the time. Yeah. And it feels great when you get through it. And failure's okay too. Because you just pick yourself back up and do the next hard thing, right? Yeah. All right. Are we at the quick, rapid questions? Just
Oh, I think we are. Let's
okay.
go. We want to kick it off, or am I on the first one? Oh, well,
I'm going to ask you.
Okay, yeah, let's go.
How do you advise someone who feels intimidated by starting at a CrossFit gym?
How do I? So the number one thing that I always tell anyone is that we have every range of help, every age group, every individual here at this gym. The reason I love CrossFit more than any other gym is because one, there is a coach who is going to help you scale the workout to where you are at.
Yeah.
24-hour fitness for $24.99 a month cannot teach you how to scale a machine if you don't know. And no one's going to show you the form. No one's going to show you show you the technique. Just because you've seen some guy in the CrossFit Games deadlift 405 and throw it over his head, that's where he's at. That's him at expert level. That's not where I'm trying to get you unless you want to get there. That's different. But people kind of see that and they're like, oh my God, I got to stay out this place. I'm like, no, you need to learn these basic movements and you could do it at your level. And as you continue to grow in the class, just like anything, we'll continue to add more. People need to look at CrossFit almost like college. There's freshmen, there's sophomores, there's juniors, and there's seniors.
Yeah.
And I don't mean in just age, I mean in level and what they can do. And there's a reason that people start, everyone's a freshman. And we all rose up as we came. But you're never going to get there if you don't ever show up to the class.
Yeah.
You should drop out.
Yeah. I'll ask you one more and then I'll have you ask me my question. How do you help people stay motivated when they don't see the results like immediately? Because that's a big one.
So this is tough. Usually one of the things that I first do is we have a real sit down talk. And I want to make sure, have you been as consistent as you can be? Because there's a lot of people who tell me, Ty, I've been killing it. But then when I ask them, well, tell me what you ate on Saturday. Tell me what you ate Friday evening at 6. Tell me what you ate Sunday. Let me know every single snack. And then their mouths are like, well, okay. And I'm like, well, you just answered your own question on why you're not seeing any real results. I'm not saying that that's the case every time, but most times it's because a person thinks because this is their first time. I'm working out finally. I'm here. I ate pretty good, more than I've done. But then when you ask them, was it perfect? Of course, they're like, no. Yeah. Well, then until you do it perfect, how about we not work? How about we just figure out how to stop us from doing what you just did that week, next week?
Yeah.
And then picking out from that point. And I was like, look, the more consistent you become at doing things right, the more results you will continue to see. And then the other thing that I tell everyone to try to keep people on track is this: fitness is like the farm. You're not going to plant the seed and then go out the next day and have an acre of freaking corn. That's not how this works. You have to plant the roots. The roots are showing up consistently. The roots are changing the food so that the food actually accompanies the workout that you're doing. And once those roots start to get planted, then you start to head up on this upward trajectory of results. And here's the truth about the matter. on average, if you're consistent, no days off, consistent, it takes 4 weeks for you to see a change within yourself. It takes 8 weeks for your close friends, family, or relatives, the people you live with, to see a change. And it usually takes 12 weeks for the world, which means like your coworkers or someone who may, like a family member who you maybe see every now and then, to be like, oh, have you lost weight? That usually takes 12 weeks. So unless you've gone for 12 weeks with that level of consistency, and I don't want to hear, but Ty, I've already gone like 5 days. I deserve a treat. You don't deserve anything. I'll be honest with you. And this is why I said there's some people are going to watch this and they're going to hate me. If it was up to me, I would tell you I wouldn't go back to doing it until I reach my goal. Because that's the truth. I would have never wanted to become a cop and then stopped halfway and been like, well, now I'll just cut off for fucking 4 weeks and then I'll get back on it.
Yeah.
No, I stayed on it so I could achieve the goal. And I wouldn't have let off the gas until I reached it. And that's where I feel most people fall short. But I always tell people, if you can go 12 weeks, which in the blip of life is a fucking joke, if you could make it 12 weeks without stuffing processed carbs in your body, I guarantee you're going to see a result.
Yeah.
I will give you all of my home if you didn't. I will give you everything I have if you didn't see a result, because that's how confident I am. And I remember when I first started my own journey, I literally told myself, I will go 12 weeks straight. And once I hit week 12 and I saw who I was in the mirror, I didn't want to do anything else ever again.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yep.
All right.
I like that.
Lori is on the air. Let's get it going. So, Lori, what is your advice for people who struggle with the consistency?
So I'm going to take it from the working out perspective, whether you pickleball or here or basketball or lifting. Consistency is everything, right? You know, when you come to the gym, we'll just start CrossFit. You work out a few days in your house. And you're like, I'm not coming in until I'm not sore anymore. And then a week later, you come back and then you work out again. And you're hella sore. And you take another week off. You got to keep going. You have a body emotion stays emotion, stay active, modify your workouts, do whatever it is. You must take your planner for 2 weeks and schedule in your workouts. And then have a plan B, because a lot of you get work meetings that pop up last minute. And then if you can't work out till after all the gyms in town are closed, or you can't get on the court because the lights are shut off at the park, do a body weight workout at home. Just do something. And then you will feel bad when you miss a day, and you almost just keep yourself in check with consistency. Like that works for most people. And then I also have clients, I have 2 that do personal training with me. One's on year 5 and one's back after a couple of years and back now for over a year, because they won't work out if they don't have me to come train them. So find what works for you, if what you can afford, what you can do. Like some people, just like you have your clients too, that just come to you to work out, and that's perfect because you found the magic consistency potion for you. Find out what that is and just go with it.
Yeah. So I was
Don't
going to
overthink
say
it.
that's a very, very valid point. Really quick, Lori, one more for you as well. If you could give someone only one piece of advice for improving their health, what would it be?
Ooh, just one piece.
Just one piece.
Make it truth-based and do it for yourself.
You knocked that one off. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Truth-based and
real
for yourself. Like, yeah.
That literally answers it. Because if you did those things, you would probably reach your results.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. Guys, that is it for us here on Keeping It Real with TNL, episode 9. We hope that you loved it and you got some great information. This is one I would definitely say you probably want to go back and watch again, because Lori and I both dropped some big gems of things that are going to help you with the motivation mindset, things that are going to help you with the making the nutritional changes that you need to make, as well as some gold on just some chemicals and some things like the glyphosate that you got to be watching out for. So we hope that you saw the value in this and got something out of this.
But just stay consistent, keep it real, stay classy, San Ramon, right? Oh, I want like a Ron Burgundy cut in here with us.
We're going to have to do that on the episode.
Up with some fun stuff. All right, guys, we'll see you next time.